A survey's found that thousands of us are failing to use all our holiday entitlement because we feel too pressured at work to take time off. 1 in 5 workers won't use all their annual leave allowance this year, losing 7 days holiday each on average. Plus, a quarter of those who do go away end up working whilst on holiday. Who can we talk to about this? How about an employment lawyer? Andrew Crisp is from Advantage Employment Law and joins me in the studio. Good afternoon.
Hello, Helen. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Were you surprised by these figures?
I was surprised because the employees have the right to take their holiday during the holiday year. A full-time employee would be entitled to 28 days holiday a year, although they are allowed to carry some forward to the next year, not all of them, but they're allowed to carry up to 8 days to the next year.
I was going to ask you about carrying them over because different firms have different ideas of what's actually allowed, but legally you can take 8 days over.
You can take 8 days over, yes. I mean, by law, they have to take at least 4 weeks holiday in a year. If they want to, they can take the extra 8 days. If they don't want to take them, they can carry them forward to the next year and use them in that year.
Why do you think so many people don't use up their holiday entitlement?
I think there are possibly a couple of reasons. Firstly, when people are engrossed in their work, they don't really think very much about holiday and they don't realise the effect that it's having on them. But secondly, perhaps during a recession, people want to appear to be great employees and maybe feel that their employer might be more likely to make them redundant if they're having a wave of redundancies if they insist on taking their holidays.
But then we had a texter earlier who said if companies want loyalty, they should get a dog, and they're not going to think any less of you if you do take your holiday.
Well, that's right. I think employers who don't let their employees take their holiday are very unwise, because employees who take their holiday are likely to work better, they're likely to appreciate their employers more, and all round there'll be more of a benefit to the business.
I'm interested what you say about 28 days holiday. Is that the legal entitlement? Do companies have to give full-time staff members that amount of holiday?
That's right, yes, 28 days.
And if companies don't offer that, they're breaking the law?
They are breaking the law, yes. And an employee would be allowed to take them to an employment tribunal and insist that they have their holiday.
Interesting. I wonder how many people would take it that far, though.
I don't know. I guess an employment tribunal is quite a big hurdle for someone to get over, but I think if they want to keep their job as well, they'll probably keep quiet.
I mean, part of this problem may well be that we're all using smartphones nowadays. You know, we've all got laptops that we can take home with us. I say we all. I'll now get a call saying I haven't got one, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Sometimes you almost forget that you're working.
Yes. That's right. If people are on holiday but they've got their smartphones, they're still answering emails and dealing with telephone calls. They're not really taking a holiday. It's not really doing them very much good. And I think sometimes people just need to switch their phones off and have a proper break.
It's easier said than done, though, isn't it?
That's right.
I mean, and where do you stand legally as well? If you do take your phone home at night and you're doing bits and pieces of work or on the laptop, do the company have to compensate you for doing that?
They not usually, no, but I think if employees wanted to be very legalistic about it, they could say, I'm not going to do any work except during office hours. But often an employment contract would say that they expect the employee to do a reasonable amount of extra work where necessary.
On the other side of things, we've got the Olympics on the way.
Yes.
We've got the Euro 2012s happening at the moment. Do more people become ill because of overworking, so therefore they're thinking, well, you know, actually I might throw a sickie on these days? Well,
that's another risk, of course. If the employer doesn't allow their staff to have proper holiday, it does become a temptation for the employee to say, I'm just going to phone in ill.
And do you think we'll see more absences with stuff happening that people want to watch?
That may well be the case. I think what I would say to employees is it's good to book your holiday in advance, and you've got something to look forward to then, and you don't need to throw a sickie.
And where does the law stand on sickies?
Well, if someone pretends to be ill when they're not in order to get a day off, that's potentially gross misconduct.
Is it?
And if the employer could prove that, then they could be dismissed.
All the law, it's a complicated thing, isn't it?
It can be.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Andrew